welcome back. So today, as you've seen in the title, is the day that I'm finally going to share with you guys everything that's been going on with me lately since about the last week of July. My vlogs have been weird, my videos have been weird, my social media has been weird. I'm sure you guys have been able to figure out what's going on or speculate or whatever, but it's actually been a lot of things. I also went on my YouTube notifications feed and I asked you guys what kind of look you wanted to see and to get ready with me this Friday. And the majority of you guys voted for something glowy and glam, which is a mood that I've been in lately anyway, so that will be really fun. So guys, we're going to probably dip into a lot of different makeup, the stuff that I've really been enjoying lately today, and going to go for a full glam transformation while I share with you guys a very in-depth life update. So let's get started. Oh, I'm kind of hot and I'm not sure about this top. I don't know. I just yanked it out of my closet because it was black and I anticipate maybe getting a little bit flustered talking about this and I didn't want my chest to get all red, and so we're covered. I'm just going to spritz the face with my Scandinavia primer spray. So I would say that probably 3 weeks ago, you guys noticed in the vlog that suddenly I was just home during the day. And I will start by saying that the end of July was a big eclipse. There were 3 eclipses over the last month and they were all kind of culminating, and the final one was on the 11th of this month. So a lot happened between the last 2, which was July 27th and August 11th. So actually, let me move you guys in. Okay, up close and personal. So starting off with my foundation of life right now, this is the Natasha Denona Foundation X. So lately, I had been having a pretty good time at work. It was a job that I felt very well suited for. I felt like I made a lot of friends. I felt like I had distilled my job down to being able to get it done in probably like 4 or 5 hours a day. And keep that in mind. It will become important later. Then, suddenly, on July the 30th, I got pulled into a one-on-one with my boss at the time, and the HR director. Sounds very fateful, and you can guess what happened next. For the first time in my entire life, I was fired. And it just was so unbelievably out of the blue and random to me. But while my life was flashing before my eyes, my brain was already kind of churning, because you guys know me and how I can't sit still, how I always have to be using my time. And so all I was thinking was, what am I gonna do with all this time? Even in the short term, not really knowing what the future held as far as the next job or the next step, but just wanting to know what I was gonna do with the next day. Going in with some Hollywood Flawless filter. This has become kind of my thing here, especially for a really glam, glowy look. So I went home that day, and it was a Monday, and I literally had the whole week, and maybe longer, in front of me. Speaking of in front of me, where's my stinking concealer? And so I called my coworker first, because she wasn't in the office and she was like one of my closest friends, and so I just wanted to update her and kind of like just make sure that she didn't kind of hear through the grapevine. I felt like that would have been kind of rude to not tell her. And then I called Mike, and then I called my mom. By the time I got home, I had just decided to give myself a little bit of stillness and a little bit of space, and I had already kind of told all of the important people in my life what had happened, and so I didn't really owe anybody anything at that point. There was a certain, looking on the bright side, a certain amount of freedom that I felt from not having to check my email anymore. And just knowing that at least in the short term, I could concentrate on YouTube, that I had something that I could put my energy into, if that makes sense. Pretty much 2 hours after I got back, I had totally collected myself and decided to just game plan. I was like, I am not going to let this beat me, and I'm going to reframe. Reframing is something that my therapist has really coached me on, with taking something that is on the whole unfortunate and turning it into an opportunity. That doesn't mean that I necessarily was happy that I got fired, but I'm not gonna just sit there and wallow. I decided to do some really strict budgeting in case I didn't get a job right away. And I spent a lot of time making videos, and I started to really enjoy putting my full time and energy into my videos. Every time I realized that it would have been something that I wanted to do, but I didn't have like the bandwidth to do it because I had so many other things on my plate, I would just do them. That's why you've probably noticed over the last few weeks the quality of my videos has really improved, is because I actually went and taught myself how to edit for color and how to white balance my camera and how to get my frame rate right and everything. If you've been watching my vlogs, I'm kind of a broken record about it, but it's like really exciting because all of a sudden my thumbnails and my videos just look so much more realistic and so much more bright and pretty and positive and just happier to watch. And you can also see the performance of the makeup a lot better. So that was a good way for me to kind of channel that. I should say, you guys, now that it has all kind of come out in the wash, I of course have had a dream, right? That's why I'm doing this. I mean, it's no secret that I'm putting a lot of work into this, and it is very much a second job for me. This is not a hobby, and that ultimately I would like to not have two jobs. And so I think that pie in the sky, I had been hoping for all of the pieces to fall into place that I might ever feel comfortable having YouTube just be my job. And in that case, I would have to quit my job where I was before, but I couldn't really wrap my head around what that would look like. I could never really imagine like how much money I would need to make on YouTube to ever feel comfortable breaking myself away from this job. Just gonna do my brows here real quick. So I had talked to my therapist. It was a few weeks ago, maybe a little longer than that. She goes, you know, what do you want? She's like, what do you really want? I said, I want to quit my job. Obviously, I didn't want to do it right then. Like, I was still working. I was still showing up. I was still really dedicated to the job, and I really can't express to you how, like, blindsided I was. And so the whole idea was to, you know, put it out into the universe. I totally understood in the same breath that I didn't really understand what the in-between looked like. And this is real woo-woo, so just brace yourself, but it's also exciting if you're into this kind of stuff. So I was talking to my therapist, and she's like, you know, if you're really unsure about something, you should ask the universe for a sign. Like, have you ever done that before? And I was like, no. And she told me that, you know, she had asked the universe, you know, to show her something when she needed an answer, and, you know, it comes at the right time, and it's, you know, easy to interpret, and blah, blah. This was probably back in, like, April or May, and right then I said, like, all right, universe. This is not in my actual therapy session, but I said, all right, universe, if it's time to quit my job, I want you to show me a buffalo. I was like, that's really random. What is the likelihood that I will see a buffalo? Very low. So I'm not ready to see the sign anytime soon because I'm not ready to quit my job anytime soon. But I just, you know, figured I would throw it out there with a little bit of cynicism. So cut to a few weeks later, I guess it's kind of a fuzzy timeline, but I had another therapy appointment, and my therapist, she's like, you know, how's it going? Whatever. And I was like, oh, cool shirt. She's wearing this cool shirt that's got all this like embroidery on it. And she turns around to walk down the hall in front of me, and there's two giant buffaloes that are embroidered on the back of her shirt. And I was just like, crap! And in my therapy session that day, I told her about it. And she's like, oh, I got goosebumps, you know, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, you know, you asked the universe for an answer, you got your answer, like, what are you gonna do? And I was like, I'm not ready. Like, I can't quit my job. You know, it's a lot of money, and it's something that I've, you know, put a lot of time and energy into. I have a lot of experience in this field, and it's a pretty stinking good job for the field that I'm in. I think that I'm valued. I think that I'm relatively happy for someone who's, you know, not necessarily wanting to ultimately do that, but, you know, in the job that I was in, I was not unhappy. And so, July 30th, I lose my job. And I had another therapy appointment the following Saturday, and I went in there and I told her what happened, and she goes, you know, you asked for a sign from the universe about a question you already knew the answer to, and when you got your answer and you ignored it, the universe just did it for you. And I was like, okay. The next thing that happened is that I decided, pretty much out of fear, the day actually that I got fired, I applied for a bunch of jobs. I've never taken unemployment, and I didn't really know whether I would even be eligible for it because this YouTube is an LLC, and so I was like, I don't know. I think that I, you know, shouldn't be drawing on unemployment unless I absolutely have to, unless I kind of get myself into some sort of predicament. And I started just kind of applying for jobs. I do SEM. Search engine marketing, and it is in crazy high demand. And so there are these rules about unemployment where, you know, you have to look for jobs 5 times every week. You have to keep a work log. Never had to do that, but I read all the paperwork on it and everything. And I just realized pretty quickly that if I were applying for that many jobs in my field, it's not going to take me very long to get one. This is just a very, like I said, in-demand field. I have a very unique level of experience. For whatever reason, the talent pool is just really small in Austin for my particular level of experience in what I do. I applied for 2 jobs the day I got fired, and I got called back on both of them. As I was interviewing for those jobs, one of them ended up telling me no, which was totally fine. To be honest, the reason that I interviewed with them was because I was under the impression that their office was really close to my house, and it wasn't. It's like really far, and I was like, oh well. And so when they told me no, I wasn't very disappointed. But this other one is this very prestigious company here in Austin that has been, I mean, they're just an institution. They are amazing. And they've never had what I do under their roof. They've always outsourced it. And so when they posted a job spec for what I do at their company, I was like, no way. And so I applied. And like I said, I got a call back and I did a couple of interviews with them, but I hit a snag, like on a personal level. I hit this point where I was like, I am having a really good time concentrating on making my videos right now. And I don't want to go back to working all day, every day, and all day on the weekends, which is what I was doing. I didn't really want to go back like head first into a full-time job because the whole being chained to a desk thing was making me miserable. It was absolutely killing my soul. And I just realized that I was just going to have to figure something else out. And so I kind of put that out to the universe and I was like, we got to figure something else out. This is the Super Glow. You guys, I'm obsessed. From Natasha Denona, like I can't stop using this. It's so gorgeous. And it just gives this amazing glam glow to your face. Oh, I think we might play with this PYT palette here and then kind of fill it in a little bit with Thrive. Just get like a really fun glowy glam look on my eyeballs. Gonna start with some primer. This is the Luscious Cosmetics Angel Eyes. So it was probably, what, 2 Fridays later at that point. And I had essentially gotten into the next round at this job and they were asking me to come in and do this whole presentation for them and everything, which is fine if that's what you want to do. Like if that's what you want your job to be, then of course you can't blame a company for wanting to see you in action doing that. I just had this like thrill of fear where I was just like, what am I getting myself back into? And it sounds very millennial, but it was also just me having put a lot of years into what I do and not really knowing what I wanted anymore. I just didn't know how I wanted it to feel. I love this quote by Chani Nicholas. It was in one of my sort of long form monthly horoscopes. She said, if it doesn't feel like freedom, it's not really revolutionary. And she was talking about how my particular sign is on a different path and that I shouldn't compare myself to other people and their path because I'm just pursuing something that's very unique and what I'm doing is not going to look like anything else. And she's like, just keep in mind that what you're doing, just don't recreate your own hell out of what you're doing just because those are the muscles that are hot, essentially. Make sure that it still feels like freedom. And so I am in the car with Mike and I'm discussing this and kind of grappling with this moment where I'm just asking myself what the logical next step is. I don't want to throw away an opportunity with this really, really great company, but I also don't want to be unhappy in my job. I'm talking to Mike about it and I'm basically expressing all of those feelings to him. He's like, well, don't do it, Kaki. You know, if this isn't what you want, then don't do it. Like, we'll figure it out financially or whatever, we will figure it out. And so the following Monday, I get an email kind of checking in from the HR director over there. And he's like, hey, you know, how's the presentation coming? Did you get all the information you need and everything? And I emailed him back and I basically said, I am going in another direction, which is totally true. I was like, this is just kind of not where my head's at right now. And I've had to take a long, hard, personal look at my priorities, and I just think that you deserve to have somebody who is very dedicated and wants this really badly. And that's just not where I'm at right now. The hiring manager, not the HR director, but the hiring manager emails me back and he's like, hey, can you hop on a call? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'd be happy to kind of explain this to you in depth, like where I'm at. And I get on the phone with him, and I was so outrageously honest, I really thought he was just gonna hang up on me. I was like, yeah, dude, I know that this is really millennial of me, but like, I can't be chained to a desk anymore. I am very good at my job. I'm very good at doing it in a certain amount of time, and sitting at my desk for the rest of that amount of time and just pretending to work, especially when I'm building a small business, is just really hard for me. Like, I would rather not know what my next step is than go and put myself back into a situation where I know I'm not going to be happy, and I'm probably not going to be a very good contributor because I'm not happy. And so I just laid it all out on the line for the guy. So as I'm telling him all of this, I am still surprised that he stayed on the phone with me and was patient with me at all, because I was just being kind of bratty, I mean, the kinds of things I was saying, but at the same time, I was saying it all under the assumption that I was basically telling him, no, I don't want this job, so I didn't really care. I was really glad that I didn't lie. I was very, very honest. And he goes, before I came full-time to this job, I freelanced for a long time. He's like, we have plenty of freelance opportunities open here for highly qualified, digital marketing professionals. And I was like, what? Because no one's ever said that to me before. Like, most places are like, if you are here, you are dedicated to us, this is your full-time situation, and we need you to be like a stakeholder, like act like an owner kind of thing. And so when he said, we'd love to have you come on and get in the pipeline with freelance work, I was like, absolutely, 100%, I could definitely do that. He's like, it's between 20 hours a week and like 40 hours a week, however much kind of we have for you that week, or how much you want to do. It's entirely flexible. And I was like, that sounds fantastic. That is exactly the level of commitment that I'm ready for right now. I kind of thought that he meant like at some point. I didn't know he meant right now, which is even better. Like, I should say that it's not like I was like, oh no, it's too soon. Like, he's like, we'd love to have you come into the office like tomorrow. I was like, okay. And so I did. I got started on Thursday in this new freelance position. I'm gonna go into the Natasha Denona palette and do something fun. I want some color. I realize this looks a lot like any other smoky eye. We're gonna go for some color. I'm going into this shade Goosty right here, and I'm mixing it with water to make a really nice little paste out of it, and we're gonna go all over the lid. In fact, one of you guys was like, rose gold, so we're going rose gold. So I went into the new job not really knowing what to expect. I had never freelanced before, and I was fully prepared to just kind of go with the flow. And fortunately, they have been so, kind and welcoming and open, and it's really been exactly the pace that I want, because I do like to come in and do the business that needs to be done, and then, have everybody kind of trust me to do my work on my own. Like, I go in and I consult and I do a lot of work and stuff, but I don't have to stay in the office all the time. And it allows me to have the flexibility to not just do everything that I want to do with YouTube, but also just the mental freedom of knowing that I'm still kind of, at the end of the day, my own boss, which is really nice. Plus, the people there are incredible. They're so freaking nice. Thrive palette here. I mean, we're just going nuts over here. I'm gonna go into this gold shade, and we're gonna go rose gold for you guys. Yes. Because it was not gonna be glam unless we did this. This is actually an e.l.f. eyeshadow brush. It's called the C brush, and it's an amazing kind of like short, stubby, but kind of wide, fat, flat brush, and it gives you the ability to lay tons of product on all at once. So you guys can see, it's just doing the job so quickly. So I was having some, financial anxiety about just knowing that, I was going to have to rely on just YouTube for my money for a while, and that was going to be really hard for me, because while it's fine it's not consistent, and I wanted just a little bit more control over my financial life. It was hard going from everything being regimented and getting, you know, regular paychecks to suddenly just kind of nothing. You know, getting fired is very, it's just very strange. It's just altogether extremely strange. I'm pulling on the white shade that is in that palette as well. It's kind of ghostly, and I'm not really sure I'm a fan of it. This is the shade Nudist out of the Natasha Denona palette. We're just playing at this point. I want a really nice, like, icy beige to put on my inner corner. Do we have anything? Ooh, actually, we can just use a highlighter for that. So that's what's been going on with me lately. I have been so grateful for my friends and for Mike. You know, it's been Mercury retrograde, and Mercury just went direct on Saturday on the 18th. Mercury retrograde is, it's a tough time period for everybody because it's always a lot of the re's, right? You know, you're reassessing, you're reacquainting yourself with, sometimes reconnecting with friends, or revisiting certain things that, you know, maybe make you uncomfortable. But it's the time where everything just kind of slows down and you're forced to sort of face things. For some people, that's very uncomfortable. I think for everyone, that's really uncomfortable. I don't think that makes you, like, weak if that's uncomfortable for you. I'm using a little bit of cocoa to bring some warmth back into this. I just didn't like what that white from the Thrive palette did. It was so cool tone. All right, so I like that. First, spritz my face. I don't usually do this, but I promised you guys that we were going to do these lashes on camera, so we're going to do these lashes on camera. These are the Vinix Beauty lashes. They gave me an affiliate code, you guys. It will be down below. I'll put it on the screen right here. I believe it's 20% off. And I did already wear these lashes, but these can be worn up to 30 times if they're cared for properly, and I did a good job of cleaning them and putting them back in their little box here. And so actually they're almost better than a brand new pair because they're already kind of to the shape of my eyeballs. So, you know, what do I want out of the future? Obviously, I want YouTube to be my full-time career at some point. We're just not quite there yet. I will be at 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and, you know, it's just continuing to grow. And I appreciate you guys so freaking much. And I just love the candor of the family that we have kind of created. I got to tell my giveaway winner yesterday of my 5,000 subscriber giveaway, and that she won, and it was just like such a heartwarming, just brief conversation though, but she was so excited and so happy, and like that really just makes me happy. I'm putting some Duo lash glue on here, and if you guys are not, if you didn't watch that last Friday's video, then these Vinix Beauty lashes are not just awesomely cruelty-free and vegan, but they also give $1, which is 3 meals, to children in Kenya, Haiti, and India every time that you purchase. So actually, hey, that eye look looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, that looks pretty good. I think once we get some mascara on here, we're gonna be okay. And little did I know, actually, the little spudger end on the end of the Thrive eyeliners is meant for being able to push in your fake eyelashes. I learned that when I did the trip with Thrive. I was like, you know, I've always loved this little unique spudger on the end of your eyeliners, and she's like, oh, it's for the eyelashes. And I was like, stop. She's like, yeah, you know, it's like easier than putting your finger up there, and I've stabbed myself in the eye too many times with tweezers. And so I just designed this little tool that would help me kind of position my lashes really easily. And I was like, once again, Carissa, you've put more thought into this than I realized. Boom! Yes! I did it! You guys, these are not difficult lashes to put on. They are amazing. I'm like really blown away by them, how easy they are to put on. So I will kind of let that dry, and I will put some mascara on once they've dried, and I will just kind of join them all together that way. Where'd my glue go? What do I do with things? Like, it's like I get done with something and I just chuck it across the room. Like, that's basically the logic. There it is. Okay, so while those chill for a second before I put on mascara, let's go ahead and do lips. So my thing with my lips lately has been my top secret lip liner. Great job, Khaki. Obviously that looks insane. And then I actually just go over this with the Fenty, what's it called? The Fenty Glow Gloss Bomb. And I just blend the lip liner in with this. Hey, I said we were going for full glam, okay? I do like to overline my lips a little bit, just kind of like right here, where I feel like is uneven and it sort of disappears. But this is the Camellia lash. Yeah, so this is the full look. I am very grateful for my situation, but if I had updated you guys anytime in the middle of this ordeal, it just wouldn't have made any sense. So I am no longer a full-time employee at any job. I am just freelancing, which is fantastic. I'm very grateful for it. I'm grateful for the opportunity, grateful for the flexibility. I'm grateful for the financial stability, especially as I'm getting married very soon. And I just kind of need everything to come together for a little while longer while I play this YouTube thing by ear. So send all your good vibes, guys, so that we can make this a full-time gig. But in the meantime, I'm so thankful to have been able to find something that bridges the gap for me, and they are just an amazing company. I'm very grateful for that. So guys, I hope that you like this glam look. It came together in such an organic way. Organic is like the word that I like to use when I didn't know what I was doing while I was doing it. Guys, I'm obsessed with this. It's the middle of the day on a Sunday, but I might make Mike take me someplace fancy. So guys, if you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. If you want to keep hanging out with me on this channel, hit the button down below and subscribe. I would love it if you guys did. I love you guys so much, and thank you for keeping up with me on this journey. I love you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.